Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a breaking news video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. And the big breaking news on Sunday afternoon is that Tyrique George wants to leave Chelsea this month before the summer transfer window ends. Obviously, George come through the academy, promoted to the first team squad last season, had a bit of a breakthrough season towards the back end of the last campaign. Really important goal away at Fulham, the equaliser, which kind of set us on our way for that momentum that we finished the season with. A few goals in the Conference League and kind of made some important contributions. However, with the additions of Delap, of João Pedro, of Jamie Gittins, looks like Xavi Simons is going to come in, probably going to make a move for Alejandro Garnacho. You're kind of wondering, where are his minutes coming from? There's been a few murmurings about George maybe going out on loan, but then bang, Fabrizio Romano on Sunday afternoon with the news. Tyrique George wants to leave Chelsea this month with reduced game time. Bundesliga clubs keen on signing him. Permanent move also possible. Chelsea prefer to keep George, but accept his desire for regular football. Leipzig and Gladbach among the clubs keen. So after that, it was then followed up with, as you would expect, RB Leipzig are keen on Tyrique George. No, not that one. That was the same one. Well done, well done. This one here, guys. The exclusive, that RB Leipzig have asked Chelsea about Tyrique George during club-to-club talks for Xavi Simons. Separate topic and not in the same deal, but George has attracted interest in the Bundesliga and Leipzig are keen. As said already, he's prepared to leave Chelsea due to limited space as revealed. Now, for me, A, this is not a total surprise, and B, I'm not against it at all. If Tyrique George is going to develop, then he needs 20 to 30 games a season to grow, to develop as a player, and they build up a proper set of senior games. He's not getting that at Chelsea. However much of a Tyrique George fan you are, however much of a Cobham fan you are, with the options that we have, Tyrique George is simply not getting the minutes or the game time that he needs at Chelsea to develop as a player. If it's a sale, which I'm not totally against at all, it would, like you'd imagine, Chelsea would negotiate a heavy sell-on or even a buyback potentially as well. But as I said, you've got Pedro, Simons, Gittins, possibly Garnacho, Pedro Neto, Esteval. You've got Giovanni Quenda coming in 2026. There's just no minutes. There's no space at the inn. No space at the inn. And yeah, you know, it's a shame. It is a bit of a shame because you always want to see your own do well. And that away end at Fulham, you know, I was there. If anyone else watching was there, it was unbelievable. And then the Tyrique George chant, we're all going to Rocklaw, you know, amazing times, amazing memories. But football's not about sentiment. We have to deal with cold, hard facts and reality. And the reality of this situation with Tyrique George is, compared to the other options that we have in the squad, compared to the players that we are going to sign, he is not of the level that the players we've already got are, or the players that we are looking to bring in are. That might sound harsh, but that is the reality of the situation. Now, I'm happy with a loan. I'm happy with a permanent sale. However, for the sake of his career, I don't really see how a loan makes sense. Because if you come back in 12 months, even if you do really well, it's just boosted your transfer value. Because you're not going to get a look in at Chelsea. You're not going to suddenly jump ahead of the people in the queue that you are hoping to jump ahead of. It just simply isn't happening. So, I don't know. Is Tyrique George's value the highest it will be? Probably not. No. It's probably reasonably high right now. If he goes on loan and does really well, then that value infinitely increases. But do you take that gamble? Do you cash in now, or do you send him on loan, hope that he does well in the event that his value rises, or he doesn't do well and the value dips and you have to sell for less, or you've got to send him on yet another loan? So these are the things that Chelsea have got to think about. But ultimately, in my opinion, I firmly believe that for the best of his career, he obviously has to leave. And I think it makes sense to leave on a permanent basis. I really don't see how going away for a year and then coming back really changes the picture at all in regards to Tyrique George and potentially forcing his way in at Chelsea. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken this long for these for this news to come out, really. I mean, how much is Tyrique George worth? Are we looking at 20, 25, 30 million pounds? If you're getting 20 million pounds for Amanda Broja, you've got to think, surely you can get 30 million for Tyrique George. And you would probably take that. You would probably take that 30 million pure profit on the books. Yes, he played a big part in rescuing the season at the end of the last campaign, but I'm not sure if he's quite as talented as someone like a Josh Achimpong, who I think could potentially make it at Chelsea or has a bigger chance to. But ultimately, George will have a better career by leaving Chelsea. Leipzig would be a very good step because you know full well if you have success at clubs like Leipzig, you can move back to the Premier League. And they are willing to sell players. They are a selling club. So you've seen a number of young British players go abroad, smash it, and then get big moves. This, for me, would be a very, very good career move. And we have to be real, guys. George, for the sake of his career, it will be better if he leaves Chelsea. I know that might sound harsh, and I know that's maybe not what some people want to hear, but you can't get all these attacking signings, make all these signings in the final third, and then expect there not to be any casualties. And unfortunately, as a result of our recruitment, bringing in 3, 4, 5 attacking players this summer, there's going to be some collateral. And Tyrique George is that collateral. That's just the reality of the situation. So I can't even blame him for wanting to leave. It is what it is. You can't keep everyone happy. Not everyone's going to make it at this football club. We thank him for everything that he's done and wish him all the best as and when he does move on. Because I don't believe this is an if he moves on. This for me is a question of when he moves on. In terms of other news as well, briefly, whilst we're on attackers chat, Fabrizio Romano again saying this morning that Alejandro Garnacho has given his total priority to joining Chelsea. Talks have taken place on the player side. Negotiations with United are yet to take place. Price key factor. Timing of the deal not expected to be imminent. Can take some time with Chelsea focused on outgoings and Xavi Simons. So as we expected, guys, as we expected, Garnacho wants Chelsea. He's waiting for Chelsea. It's his priority above any other club. And again, this for me, unfortunately, is just a question of when rather than if. Now, Chelsea could be looking at all manner of deals. Loan with an option, loan with an obligation, similar to the Jadon Sancho situation, or a deal in and around £30 million, maybe with bonuses and clauses in it. We have to wait and see what happens on that one. But I think what is abundantly clear is that this month, Chelsea will make a move for Garnacho. They've obviously been in contact with him. They obviously told his camp or told him personally, look, just wait. We're coming for you. We're sorting out a few other bits and pieces, and then we will make our move. Because if you're Garnacho and you're not sure that Chelsea are going to come in, you're not taking that gamble and eliminating other moves off the table on the off chance that Chelsea might come in. I think Chelsea for sure would have given him some assurances and some guarantees that, yes, we are coming in for you. Just sit tight. A lot of Chelsea fans aren't particularly happy about this, but ultimately, look, I think the club have earned a degree of trust this summer with the signings that they've made and whatnot, and with how the window's gone. But yeah, it's not the most popular signing. But if you get it for £30 million and he's a rotation option, and Maresca can get something out of him, and Enzo Fernandez, gets him in line, gets him in check, then maybe there is someone there who is capable of contributing. But yeah, this will go a lot further into August, guys, a lot further into August. I suspect this is one for the final couple of weeks of the window. But I know I've said before that I didn't think it would happen. Obviously, things have developed and things have gone in a different direction. This one, I'm almost 95% certain that Alejandro Garnacho will be a Chelsea player. So we're just waiting now. We're just waiting. Obviously, structure of the deal is key. Price of the deal is key. And it looks like him and Gittins will be options on the left-hand side. Palmer and Simons in the 10. Esteval and Neto on the right, and then Delap, Pedro and Jackson for the middle, with Pedro obviously able to fill in other positions as well. That, to me, is what it appears like the attacking options will be. And look, it's another option. You can never have too many options to a certain degree. And so, yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens, and we have to ultimately see if it works out. Now, I want to be proven wrong on this one, but right now my gut feeling is this is not a good signing, and this is taking an unnecessary risk, which we really don't need to be taking. But anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts on a few bits of Chelsea transfer news. Make sure you smash up the likes, subscribe if you're new, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.